Hello everyone. This is the fourth stream of the rg3d game engine live coding, and today we will continue working on the curve editor. I hope my mic settings today are much better, because the previous stream the mic was like clipping like crazy, and I tried to configure it, and the stream quality should be better now because I have a much better bitrate on the stream. So I hope everyone will have some benefits from it. So let's continue. Let's briefly check what we've got on the previous stream. So we've stopped at the moment when we have the curve editor functioning. So it now has an ability to save and load curves that we have made, but it still lacks the ability to select the file we want to edit or the resource we want to edit. So right now it is hard-coded, and in today's stream we will add the file selector for both for save mode and for load mode, and also we will create a separate command stack for the curve editor, because I found that the curve editor should have its own command stack, because it basically operates on a resource. It does not know anything about the scene, so it pretty much standalone. So we need it to have its own command stack, so its commands won't bother with other commands in the scene. So and this is especially useful when we have this window opened as model, so you don't have any access to any control elements that behind this curve editor. So we want basically to add a separate menu strip in here with the edit and some menu items like undo, redo, and a file with load curve, save curve, and maybe close the editor as a additional option. So that's pretty much the plan for this stream. I hope we will make this in time, probably within 2 hours or maybe so. Right, let's start. I think we should start from adding the custom command stack for the curve editor. So that's pretty simple, but we also need to define the commands, our own command stack, right? So this is because we need to be able to like have a different context, because for this command we have the context as a scene context. We don't want it to be for this command, right? Just a second. And to do this, we have a macro which basically defines a new command stack. So it should be called like define command stack. Yes, it is. And let's see how to use it. I'm pretty sure that, yeah, there's the example, and we want to have the same somewhere in here, I think. So we also want to define new names for our command, because we don't want it to interfere with the scene command we have for scene. So let's define the new name for it, and it probably will have like curve curve command and curve command stack. And as a context, we probably don't need any context, so the unit type is okay for that. So let's now use this new command type. I should say the command trait, because this one oh, I should import it. Yes, great, fine. Why I can't use it? Fine. Right, I should export it, right? Let's do this. Okay, so we will import it as usual, and we don't need that. We need this. As a context, we will have this, this, and this. Probably we should create a type alias for that. Type. Maybe no, it shouldn't be a public. Oh, actually, I should probably yeah, it should be a type alias, right? So in here it should be called like type curve editor context, and it will be a unit type. So something like this, because having those parentheses is not good. It's not too much informative. So let's see what we will do next. We need to have its own command stack, right? Command stack, and will be this. In here, we will have new, and the back flag should be false. All right. So we also don't need this. We don't need this because this sender was designed to be used as a global queue for commands to modify a scene. So what we want to do instead, we want to get rid of this and push and execute commands directly in the command stack. So we'll be using this command stack, and do command, and we want to get rid of this. What's next? Yes, we want to get rid of maybe this. So we also need to box it because it accepts the boxed command, so it stores the trait object, right? So what's left? What should be also be in here? What you don't like? The command. All right, the function takes 2 parameters, but one was supplied. What's the second parameter? Right, the context. Right. So the context will be curve editor context. All right, no problem with that. So we also want to have separate menu strip in the curve editor to have undo, redo buttons in there, and it is also very simple to do, but we need to modify the grid we have for the content of the window. So currently our grid have two rows. One row for the curve editor itself, curve editor widget, and one for buttons that we have like at the bottom portion of the window. So in here, we want to do this, I think. Just add the new row before. And also we want to shift everything by one row down. So this will be like this. And in here, we want to add our own another child, and menu root, menu builder, I think. Yeah, the menu builder. And it will be, as usual, the widget builder, and here build and text. All right. So the menu strip should be already functional, but it is pretty empty. So we need to add some items. We have items, and in here we want to add some items to it, right? So it will be a wec macro to create a list of menu items. So in here we want to create menu item builder in series, few of them, because we want to have a file and an edit like we have in here. So in here we want to have this and this, and we also want to specify some content. The content of the menu item is pretty much this text. It could be any other widget, but we want it to have text. So we have a shortcut for that. Menu item content can be text, and this will be file, right? File, and we also want to have another item in here. So we want to copy this and do this. And in here we want to add the edit, right? So let's check what we will have in here. I hope it will compile. Nope, it doesn't compile. Indeed, because this must have debugged rate implementation. And in here we want to have, I think, this. All right. Type alias don't have a debug. All right. Let's create a this and this. Right. Right. This one, we don't need that. What else are we missing here? And in here it expects us to have the std fmd debug imported. Let's add this. And of course we need to remove this because we don't need it to send any messages anymore. Right. There's quite a lot of warnings, but all of this will be eventually fixed. No worries about that. All right. As you can see, we have this nice menu. All right. As the next step, we want to populate these menu items. To do that, that's pretty much straightforward. We need to add items for our items. This is very simple. And in here we want to add a few more menu items. One of the items probably in the file, right? In the file menu, we will have two of them. One will be, maybe three actually, because one of them should be new. Second one should be save. Maybe like this. It should be load, and the third should be save. And also we want to have shortcuts for this. And to have shortcuts, we have this init method, which allows us to basically specify the shortcut. Please keep in mind that this shortcut does not mean anything in terms of handling the key combination, right? So it basically just the text. We still have to handle the shortcut manually, right? So let's try to add something. I think the Control M is pretty convenient way, and the load should be Control plus L and Control plus S. All right, let's see what we will have. All right, let's find out. All right, that's cool. It works. Let's add the same to the edit. View items, as usual. Yes, I should swap these lines. And what it will have? It will have two options, two menu items, and one of those will be undo, and one redo. And this will be undo will be Control Z, and this will be Control Y, and it should do the job. Let's find out. Let's see. Yeah, it works. And now we also want to have like we also want to have handles to these items, these menu items, because we want to do something when user clicks on these buttons, right? So to do that, we basically need to create a bunch of new handles, and I think the better way would be to create a separate structure that will have all the menu items. And we also can structure it like in a tree-like way. So we will have menu, and in here we will have a separate structure with file menu, and file menu will have new handle, UI node, and this one will have save, and this one will have reload. And we also want to have edit menu, and this one will have undo, and redo. And in here we want to have file menu and edit menu, right? So after we've done this, we want to define the menu instance in here. We also want to have a menu instance in here, but we need to fill these handles first. So we want this to have this. Oops. Oh my god, stop doing this, please. This. Also, to get rid of this. This will be that. And basically, we need to wrap every property using parentheses. And then here we will have this. This. In here we'll have load. In here we will have indeed the save. Save. All right, and two more. And in here we'll have undo. In here it will have redo in here. Cool. Now we have everything filled in, and we also want to create the menu and populate it with the respective fields. Okay, that's good. So what we want to do next is to somehow handle these menu items, right? So basically what we want to do now is to test our new command stack, all right? So we want to test if our new undo and redo buttons work, and if the command stack is okay. So we need to do we need to basically handle the messages from menu items. And here we could do this if that's some how it called, the menu item message click, I think. Yes, click. And here we'll try to cast that message to this. And in here we want to handle all the menu items. Also, we want to check if message direction if message direction, not direction, sorry, the message destination, right? So the message, if the message destination equals menu edit undo, and if this equals redo, we want to do basically command stack undo. As a context, we will also have this. Oops. This is a context, and here we also want to do a redo. All right. So, but if we will try to use this in the current state, we pretty much won't see anything if we will try to undo. I can prove that, because when we undo something, we modifying the state of our data context, data model, I should say. And the curve editor widget does not know anything about this, right? So let me demonstrate this. This, and we'll try to undo. It won't do anything, right? And the redo won't do anything. Why so? Because yeah, we should sync the state of the curve editor widget with the current state of our data context, right? So in here we should do we should do this, then data ref, curve, clone, and in here we should send the message, and it will be curve editor message, sync self curve editor. Direction will be indeed to widget because we're syncing. All right. Yes, parenthesis. And we also want to add a special flag to this message. I will explain this in a sec. On an example, we have sync, send sync message. I think it's called send sync message. All right. So what it basically do, it sends a message, but before it applies a flag. In this flag called message sync flag, and this flag tells the code, our code, that this message should be ignored. All right. So when we send in a message to our widget, to a curved widget, and its state does not match the state of the new state, it will send us the same curve again, but from widget. It's made to catch the modifications of the state of the widget, right? So we basically want to ignore such messages because we already send the correct version, right? So in here we want to do this, send sync message, and in here we should pass the UI, and we are done. And we also want to do the same thing in here. It will be a copy paste code for now, but that's okay. So now we want to, I think, maybe yeah, we should check if this message flags not equals to message sync flag. We want to ignore such messages, all right? So let's check this, if it's working. Let's see. All right, let's try to modify something. This, and then undo, undo, undo. Okay, and redo, redo, redo. That's cool. It works. That's great. So now we want to have an ability to select the path when we want to save the curve. And that can be done using the file selector. The rg3d UI offers pretty much all you need for creating a file selectors and something like that. So basically we want to have our own file selector, and to do this we want to have two file selectors, one for open and one for save. So let's start from maybe load. They will be pretty much the same except the mode of the selector, right? So in here you want to have load file selector, and in here we want to have the handle UI node, UI node, please work. And yeah, we will have a separate function that will create our file selector, because we will basically have two instances, but they will have very few differences, and let's reuse the code, not create a copy paste. I will also get rid of this because this is pretty much boilerplate code. But yeah, let's focus on the file selector. create file selector, and in here we want to have a context, immutable build context, and it will create and it will return our handle to the file selector. And in here we want to use this file selector builder, new widget builder, new build context. So yes, it also accepts the window builder, because file selector is basically a window, but it also has some other content inside it. All right, so we want to have the window builder, and the window builder accepts the widget builder. Right, so that's the complex chain of composition. So your file selector consists of window builder consists of widget builder, and as a result we will have a file selector widget which have a window widget inside of it, and basically a base widget inside of it. So in here we want to specify the mode, and the mode will be passed as a parameter. File browser mode, with mode, and the mode will be with mode like this. And we want to specify the filter. All right, so I think we want to create a filter that basically filters by an extension, by the file extension. All right, let's see what the filter is. The filter is basically it's basically a function wrapped in a arg mutex. All right, so because it can modify its state, and this is basically a boxed object. All right, boxed trade object. So in here we want to do this, and create a mutex, and it should be, I'm not sure if it's a parking lot mutex or a standard mutex. Let's find out. What's this mutex? All right, it's the standard mutex from the standard library. Yep, we can do this, and it accepts path as a parameter. And what it does not like, let's see again, filter. Right. It we also don't need to do arg mutex new. We need to call just new on a filter. All right, so filter, and it will be this new. I also get rid of this. And in here we want to get rid of these parentheses, and yeah, what it also returns, let's check. It returns a Boolean value. All right, so if it returns true, the item will come up in the file selector. So basically we want to check if let's say path extension maybe map extension, like extension equals to OS string. I'm not quite sure how to create OS strings, but I'm pretty sure that we have an example in here. All right, let's see. All right, it doing its in very interesting way. All right, let's take this code and like reuse it in some way. So here and here. All right. False. And we want this to have Yes, get rid of this. Get rid of this. And I'm not sure how to, which extension we want, but something like rg3d, rj curve, something like that, or maybe just a curve, or crv, something like this. But I'm okay with the curve. Okay, what do we want to do next? We want to create an instance of a file selector, right? So we'll start from here. Start from here and create a load file selector. It will be create file selector. And here we'll have a context, and the file browser mode will be open. Open means load. Right. We also want this file selector to be closed as by default. Open false. And we also want it to be a model. So it will stay on top of any other widget once it opens. So everything will be blocked until we select a file, right? So let's see. We need to store this variable somewhere in here. And we want to open the file selector. Else if message destination equals to self what file selector. Oh no, not this. Menu file open. Load. And here we again should send the message. This one is not a sync message, it's just an ordinary message, so we don't need to add a flag to it, so we can do this. And to open a file selector, I'm pretty sure it has its own messages to open. Let's find out. Probably somewhere in here. Yes, it have messages, but it does not have anything that can be used to open it. So how we can do this? How we can open it? That's pretty simple, because as we can see in here, it's made out of window builder. We can use a window message. Let's do this. Window message. Open self load file selector, and message direction should be to widget, and it should be centered. Okay. True. All right. I just realized that we don't want this flag to be true in here, because we will open it by a message. So let's see if it works. All right. Let's start from fixing the compile errors. It should be a path. And in here, let's see how it will look like. Curator and load. Okay, that's cool. Oops, I closed it accidentally. And oops, it does not show anything. Why? That's interesting. Select file. It tells me to select file. Let's try this. And this one is working. That's Pretty interesting. Ah, right. It ignores the the directories is there. Yes, and it will. Yeah, it should work after this, because basically it filters out all the directories from the list and basically show nothing. Okay, let's see. Let's see if it works now. Load. Yep, it works. All right. So we also want to maybe have it at some width, a default width, maybe like 300, and height maybe 400, so it won't be too small when we open it first time. And okay, and also we want the file selector to be its root to be the root of the not the root, its root should be the working directory of the application, the editor, because we want to load only the curves that belongs to a specific project that we are working on. And yeah, let's do this. So once we clicked the load, we should send yet another message. File selector message, root. And yes, as a destination, we will have a load file selector. As a direction, message direction to widget, and the root will be std and how it called again? Current dir, I think. And I'm just unwrap it. Do not spend time on error handling. I know this is bad. This might like look unprofessional, but we are on stream and we don't want to spend any time on correct programming. No, not the correct programming, I mean the super paranoid mode and something like that. So what we want to do now is to like test it. It should start not from the root of the file system, but from the working directory, which is basically this. Let's see. Yep. Voila. We also want maybe to rename our first curve that we have made before, and probably I'm not sure if it is okay. Maybe, yeah, probably the CRV. And we also want to get rid of this curve CRV. Okay, and let's see if it will show us our file. It should actually. Why not? That's interesting. All right, I've renamed it, but I forgot to rename this. Okay, let's click load, and voila, we have it. But it for some reason missing the dot in here, but that's a bug probably in the engine. So now we want to handle this open button because it doesn't do anything. I remember this curve was preloaded, so now we have an ability to load some curves from the selected curve. And to do this, we need to get rid of this. Get rid of this. And And we also want to handle a message from file selector. If let some file selector message, and it will be a commit message, which basically tells us that a user pressed open or save button, which commits decision. So in here it will be a path, and here as usual we do this, and in here what we will be doing is to ask the resource manager to load our curve, and the resource manager will be engine.resourceManager. Okay, so in here we want to check if we actually can load this, because a user could have a file that is unloadable and we don't want to crash the application. Okay, and to do this, we just handle the errors in here and just ensure that we have something to load. We have something like not corrupted or anything like that. And return remove the unwrap. All right, so in here, the curve resource. So we want to have this. Yes, why? Because we can open the curve editor without the resource. Okay, so once we've opened the curve without the resource, we need to, maybe not unopen, but we want to get rid of this because we don't have any curves in here. Move this to here, and we also want this to be as a none, and we also want to move this probably as a temporarily in here. Destination, self, menu, file, new. And we also want yeah, this will be temporary solution. We will create the curve resource in here, and we also, what are we doing here? In here we will, yes, we will at first set the curve resource to some curve. All right, we'll clone it. Maybe we should extract the data first, then we don't need to clone this. Okay, so now in here we should basically sync the state of the curve. All right, so probably we should do this. We should create a separate function that will be syncing everything. Sync to model, and it will accept itself as mutable and do pretty much this. And in here it will be UI, and this will be user interface. All right, it should work. Sync to model, and we'll replace this with this, and in here we'll have a UI as a parameter, and this in here, and we want to also call this the sync to model in here because we have changed the resource and we want to have the new stuff in here. Okay, so also also want probably to do this. Let's check if it works. So by the default, there will be no curve. All right, there's some compilation errors. Ah, right. So yeah, again, we should check if we have some resource. Curve resource. Oh, curve resource as ref. And in here it will be this. What else? Right. Again, we should check if we have something. And only then write it. Again, this is just temporarily. We will have a smart way of doing this. We will either open a save file dialog window to pick a file name if we didn't do this before, or if we do, we will just save it to a specified file. So yeah, that's pretty much simple. What else? All right. Mismatch types. And again, we want to basically modify something only if we have a curve. Okay. Actually, I'm pretty sure that, yeah, we can also disable the curve editor once we don't have any curve to edit, right? So enabled, false. So it will be grayed out and we can't start edit if we don't have any curve. So so in here we should also check if we have a curve to modify, and curve resource clone. And once we've selected a file, we also want to unlock the widget itself. So to do this, we have a widget message called enabled, and the destination will be curve editor, and in here it will have a toWidget, and in here it will have a true. Okay, so let's find out if it works. I hope it will compile at least. Okay, it compiles. One of the good news. All right, as you can see, it's now grayed out and there is no curve, and we can't like operate on this. And we will pick load curve, open, and voila, we have our curve loaded. That's very cool. All right, so as a next thing, we will create a save file dialog, and basically it is pretty straightforward. We also need to create a new instance of it, save file, and here it will be save, and it also should, we also should specify the default file name, right? So as a default file name, we'll probably have unnamed CRV default, and that should be oh my god, it should be a path of you, maybe from this. Okay, and we also want to save the handle to the save file selector. And what we'll do next is we'll create, not to create, maybe we will open it once we've clicked a save So we also want to handle else if message destination equals a file selector. And then here we want to basically specify the root again, and yes, and here specify the root. In here we want to open it again. All right, so let's see if it works. But it won't do anything right now because there is no message handling for messages for save file selector, but that's okay. Let's see how it will work. So all right, let's try to load something first, and then we'll click save, and it doesn't work. It's mysterious why it doesn't work. Save file selector, we'll send in the open, the save file selector. In here we're creating it. Okay. Save file selector. Let's check if we will actually get in here. Oh, I see the mistake. Oh my god. Stupid mistake. File save. So it should open now. And let's find out. Yes, it allows us to select a name and a path to the file. So we can override this one or maybe create a new one. That's up to us. And we need now to maybe now we need to handle the commit message. We want to see if the message comes from the correct destination. Message destination equals self. This will be load file selector. And else if message destination equals to self save file selector. And in here we want to basically do this, but we also want to at first specify the maybe not specify, but create a function that will save everything, and we'll have a save, and it will not mutate itself. So we need to do this, and we want to move this to here, called self save here. We need to check if we have resource, and now what we want to do is to use a path that we store in resource, and want to save it in the path that we have in here. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So in here we want to do maybe let's see, we want to at first modify the path into resource self curve resource. Actually, I just realized that modifying the path would be a bad practice, because the resource was loaded from a specific path, and if we modify the path, the resource manager won't be notified if the path has changed. So what we will do instead is we will store the path separately. All right, so we'll have a path in here, path buffer, and by default it will have a default value which is empty, and in here we want to do this and do this, and maybe, yes, we'll also grab a reference. And then here we want to modify the path. We won't touch the path of the resource, right? So this basically tells us that we will create maybe a copy. So not a copy, there will be two cases. When the path will be the same, it will be like updating the resource, and when it will be a different, it will mean that we create a new instance of the resource. So to load it later, we want to specify the new path, and we'll load that as a separate instance there. So I think you got the point. So in here we want to yes, modify the path, basically clone. So once we've selected the path, we want to call the self save. All right, so save. Okay, that should be it, and let's find out if it is enough. Let's see. Okay, let's load something like a rg3d, add some points like this. Then we'll click save. Unnamed server is okay. Save and panic. Why panicked? It can't find the path. Okay, why it can't find the path? Because it where it fails. I'm pretty sure it fails. Right, it fails in save. Let's find out what the path is in here. I'm not sure, but it could be something relative, and it can figure out what it points to. So we want to load this again and just save without modifications, just to check what we will have in self path, and it's empty. That's kinda interesting. I wonder if it's a bug of the file selector. I'm pretty sure it is, because we actually have something in the path field. Save. Yeah, the path is empty. That's bad. So now it will save okay. Yes. And we will try to load. As you can see, there is an unnamed CRV. And we can load it. Modify. Save. Save it in here. And load another. All right. So now we can load different versions of curve. So different files, I mean. So once we've done this, let's improve the user experience, maybe, or maybe it should be called another way. What I mean here is that we should save save the curve to its current path if it was set. Okay, so how to do this? That's pretty simple. We should check if self path equals to default default, and if so, we want to open a file selector. If it is set, we want to call self save. Okay, that's simple. So in case of empty file path, it will open a file selector to let us select the new path. And if it's set, we'll just save to that path. That's pretty common way. When you click like save, you don't need to open the file selector every time. So basically it's a common way to do this, and it's like a sane way. So now what we want to do next, maybe handle the file new. So to handle this, we should at least like set the path to default, because we don't know the path of the new file. It's like unknown, and we also want to set the new curve. So to do this, we want to basically execute the same code with just a new instance of the curve. All right, so we want to do this, basically move this block of code to the new function. Fn a set curve, and this will be grabbing itself as mutable, and it will have a curve and curve resource. All right, and also I need to have user interface in here, and in here we want to call this set curve, and here we want to just pass the UI. And in here we want to basically do this. Just create a new instance, empty instance, and set it, and it will enable the widget again, synchronize it. So let's try it out. What do you mean? All right, let's help the compiler. Okay, let's try it out. Create new. All right, we have the new curve. Add key, like change to cubic, something like this, not so crazy. Zoom on in, and we want to save it. It actually opened the correct window. It opened the save file selector because we don't have a name specified for our curve. We want to like save it to maybe a unnamed curve, and we click save. Then we do some modifications and save again. And it does not open the window, right? So let's load with the previous, the curve CRV. Okay, without any problems. Load the unnamed CRV and no problems. So the curve editor is pretty much working, and it's pretty functional. So we can have the basically everything we need. Undo, redo, like so, but we also have a bug in here that's invisible right now because that's maybe a will of guts or something like that, but we have it. we should clear the command stack once we set a new curve, right? Because we can have some commands that were left in the command stack for the previous curve, right? So we want to do in here, what we want to do in here, we want to call the command stack clear. And as a context, we will set this. Okay. So we just fixed a bug that won't, that is hard to reproduce. Maybe not hard to reproduce, but it's invisible right now. Okay, let's see what we want to do next. As next step, maybe we should maybe create a fancy looking title of the window. Once we've set a new curve, we want to set the correct title of the window. So in here, what we want to do is we want to take the name of the path, I mean, the path of the curve, data ref, path, or maybe I can do, no, I can't, the path, okay. And in here, we want to check if path is empty. Okay, it doesn't have an empty. Maybe, yes, we'll go in this way. Path not equals, or maybe equals to path of default, else. What we want to do in here, we wanted to create a new title. As a title, we will use curve editor named curve. Okay, that's if that's for the case when we don't have any curve specified. I mean the path specified, right? So and also we want to have another branch which will have maybe this. Maybe we should use a display path display. All right, so and also we want to send the message to the UI send message, window message, title, and as a title we will have this string, and here we will have a message direction to widget window title. As a window title we will have text, and we will have a title. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. And let's check that. We've moved everything, all right. Let's do this. Okay. Let's see for the comments. No comments. All right. So let's check. Let's check if what will happen if we load something. Okay, it works. Let's try another one. The curve is CRV, and it works. So so let's recap what we have now. We have pretty much working curve editor. We can expand it. Oops, I've closed it accidentally by clicking this button. So this curve editor is pretty much functioning. Like we can create any curve we want, save it, load it, undo, redo our changes. But we should take care of this button, because right now it will save our changes once we click OK. Because but we don't need to do this. We need to ask user first if we have some changes. Do they want to save them first, or they want to discard the changes? All right. So what we will do instead, we will basically create a message box. Okay. A message box will basically ask a user if they want to save or discard changes. So to create a message box, it's pretty straightforward. All you need to do is to create it, and it will have probably how it should be called, maybe save changes message box. Just I don't know a better name, so sorry for that. Save changes message box, and message box builder new, and in here we'll have a window builder again, new, and here we'll have a widget builder, and then here we'll have build. Right. So what it does not like, I'm pretty sure I imported the wrong window builder again. The window builder, nope. Right, window builder. My eyes are like, I'm a bit tired today, so I can see obvious things. So what we want to do in here, we want to specify the buttons of the message box. Message box buttons. Yes, no, and cancel. 3 options. Maybe a user wants to save their changes, or maybe not. They want to discard the changes, or maybe they want to modify the curve again, and after that save it, or maybe discard again, something like that. So 3 options are like absolute must in here. So also we want to specify the text, and as a text we will have some message. Do you have unsaved changes? Do you want to save it before closing the code editor? All right, it's like not too long message, but now we want to basically, let's check comments again. Don't new comments. All right, but now we want to also specify the title, but we don't have some we don't have such function in here. How to do this? Again, we can use the window builder for that, and we can do this with title. Window title, window title text, and in here maybe unsaved changes. Okay. Save changes message box. it should be hidden by default. So open false. All right. And you want to have a reference on it. So we want to do this and UI node. So also we want to save the reference to it. And when we are clicking OK, we want to basically check what we have. To check if we have any changes, we want to know the maybe the how it called the location in the command stack, the current state of the command stack, right? So if we have some undone changes, so if we have or maybe not some undone changes, I mean, if we have some new commands in command stack, right? So if we have done some changes, we need to save. We need to ask the user to save. But I'm pretty sure that the user, or maybe not the user, but command stack does not have this functionality yet. So what we can do instead, we can just have a flag in here. Maybe modified bool, and in here we will have modified as false because nothing modified. We also want to drop this, like reset this flag once we've set the new curve false. Once we've done some command, where it is done, I also should split this code because it's getting messy. Yeah, probably we should do this in sync, I think. Oh, not in sync, because if we will do it in sync, it will raise the flag again. We want to do this once we're doing the command. So maybe in oh my god, I'm lost. Where we should do this. All right. Okay, we should do it in here because this is the place where we are receiving the changes from the UI. All right. So once we've done the command, we should raise the flag. Modify the equals true. Okay. So in here, we should check if we have a modified flag raised, and if the modified flag raised, let's leave this code for now. If we have the modified flag raised, what we want to do is we want to like open the message box again. Send message. We should send message in here. It will be a message box message. Very good name. And in here we want to call open. It accepts 4 arguments. 2 of them are, as usual, the destination and the direction, and the 3rd and 4th are the new title and the new text. And as you can see, both of them are optional, and in our case, we don't want to modify the content of the message boxes, so we basically want to leave them as it is. So we want to pass there none, and here we will have a message box, message direction widget, and here none and none. All right. So once it's modified, what we will do is we will ask user if they want to change to save their changes. So where we want to call this code then? Again, we want to check if we have some message from the message box. All right, and in here we'll have message box message close, and it will send us the result. So let's check if message destination, if you have message destination equals to self, save changes message box, we want to match the result. All right, there are lots of like options, but this one we will never receive that, because we've specified that we will have yes, no, and cancel buttons, right? And we will ignore this. And here is the interesting part. Where we should save it is on the yes part. Okay, so we will have we will do save and then close it. Okay, so on cancel we don't want to do anything, right? But why? Basically we want to just close this annoying message box and continue our work. So nothing to do in here. So basically we can get rid of it. And in case of no, what we will do in this case? So at first we want to like roll back our changes. So how to do this? We should remember that our changes stored in the command stack, right? So what we will do instead, we will just ask command stack to like undo all changes. Okay, so undo all changes. Actually, there is a simpler way of doing this. Okay, so what we want to do instead, maybe we should just tell the save. We should maybe right. Maybe not. Actually, we should call this. Yes. You know why? Because we've modified the resource which we've loaded from a file, and the resource instance is still in memory. And that means that if we will just close the window without undoing all the changes, this means that we will still have the modified copy, not the copy, the modified version of the curve in memory, and we don't want to do this. We want the curve to be in the state, in its initial state when we just started editing it, right? So what we want to do in here, we want to basically undo all the changes until the end of the command stack, all right? Let's think again. Our command stack, by default, it has unlimited depth, I think. So it can store all your changes from the start of the application, and it pretty much work until you have a free memory, and yeah, and after that it will just crash. But That's okay for most of applications, but if we will have a huge curve and we will like store the entire curve, entire modified curve in the command stack, and there will be a lot of changes, we'll probably run out of memory, but that's indeed a very rare situation. And of course, if you have a very low memory installed in your PC. So I'm really not sure how to do this. Maybe it's better to just create a backup, or maybe it's not a correct word for this, but this basically means that this backup curve will have the initial state of the curve, all right? So what we'll do instead, we want to have a have this backup. I think this is the best solution for this, because we don't have to we don't have to use the command stack to roll back our changes. We want to just swap the value inside the resource with the backup value, and yeah, I think that's the correct way of doing this. So our backup will be here. It will be just default, right? Just an empty curve, and in set curve we want it to be stored backup. In a backup, we will how to get a backup. This is pretty simple. We want to just clone this. Okay, so now we have a backup, and on no, on message box result no, we want to basically swap the content of the resource. Okay, so to do this, we want to go to the to the resource instance. I'm not sure if I should call here an unwrap, because this can only be called. Ah, no, actually, it can be called without the curve. So yes, I should have this let some curve resource. Nope, curve resource ref. So and in here, I want to go curve resource data ref curve equals to self backup clone. Okay, so it will be reverted to the initial state. Okay, so once it's reverted, we can, as usual, close the window. Okay, so one thing I want to also change is this line. So in case if we have something modified, and if in case if we have a curve resource, if it's some curve resource, which we open the message box. In case if we don't have it, we just call self close. Okay, let's test it. Let's check what happens, what will happen, if it will work as it should. Let's find out. Also, okay, let's check first. So let's open the unnamed CRV. Okay. So modify it some way. Click OK. All right. It asks us, hey, you have an unsafe changes. Do we want to save it before closing the curve editor? And we click in yes. And we have a crash. That's very interesting. Let's find out what is the problem. And That's kind of interesting. Oh, maybe that wasn't a crash actually, because all right, let's see. Let's see. Unnamed server, modify. Okay, yes. And yeah, it's panic. Why it's panicked? All right, because it tells us that there is no path, which is kind of surprising. Why it says us that there is no path? Aha. I'm pretty sure I know why. Because when we load in something, we don't set the path. And then here we should, yeah, basically set it. Whoa. All right, let's check again. Let's check again. Maybe we should also check for comments. No comments, all right. That's very quiet stream today. Okay, let's open, modify, and okay, yes. Okay, it's closed, and I presume it's saved. But we have a problem. We have saved changes, but we also want this to be ineditable, and this set to nothing, and this should be clear as we open the curve editor from scratch. So what we want to do in here, probably we should call a clear method, but yes, something like this. Probably fn clear mutable self should do this. Self path equals default self backup default self command stack clear curve context self. Okay, we also should do this, the title, another set title, maybe sync title, self, and we also want this in here, sync title should do this, and in here we should call sync title. Why? Okay. Okay. So sync title will take the yes, it will check if we have some curve resource and if the path is not empty. So we want to check maybe this, let some curve resource equals self curve resource as ref, and else if we have a curve resource we should do this, and also we want to check, I want to check this, else, and in this case is remove this. All right, curve resource path, the ref path, could also have this as code B, and path be this one to path off. Okay. All right, so sync title. Okay, sync tomorrow, sync title, and we also want to call sync title in here, but we also want to set this to none first, and also we also want to call this sync title with this. Okay, and we also want to lock the curve editor. Okay, so now we have title cleared. We also want, actually we want to have the this probably. So we want, so title is cleared, the backup is cleared, the path is cleared, the command stack is cleared, and the widget is disabled. So, and it all should be called in close, I think. Self clear. Oh, but first we call self clear, and it should be editable. Self clear UI. And close. All right, let's see. All right, it compiles without any problems. And let's see if it works as it should. Okay. Let's load something. Let's load something first. Modify it like so. All right. We click yes. Then we open it again. Okay. I've missed something. We should also send the new curve to the curve editor, the empty curve. So in the in the sync model we have this, and we also want to be it in here. We want to send the default. All right, let's check again. Okay, name CRV. It's have the previous state. Something like that, maybe. Want to click OK. Unsave changes. Do you want to save? Yes. Let's reopen it. Yes, and it's pretty much okay. But there's some other maybe a problem, I think, or something like that. The editor does not return to its default state. As you can see, it has a custom viewpoint, and it could also have custom scale and so on, but that's fine, I think. And yeah, I will leave this as it is for now. So let's check what we will have if we will click OK in here. Okay, no problems. What we will have if we click cancel. Okay, in case of cancel, we actually have a problem, because guess why we have a problem? Because we don't ask a user to if they want to discard the changes. So we could reuse the message box, the existing message box, but I think we should create another one just for us, just to have a different set of buttons in there. We want to ask a user if they want to like close without saving, or do not close, or just continue the editing, right? So user won't lose their work. That's very important. Users should never lose their work, and we should do this. And in here, we should call this maybe cancel message box. All right, let's copy this. Cancel message box, unsaved changes. You have unsaved changes. Do you want to quit the curve editor without saving? And in here, as an options, we should have probably let's find out. What do we want to have in here? What do we have as an options? Yes or no? So in case if a user clicks yes, they will leave the editor without saving. Okay. In case of no, the editor will remain on the screen. So yes, no is our way to go. Okay, in here should save this, and once we clicked cancel, we also want to check if we have something modified. If not, we will close it as it is. And in case if we have something modified, we want to show the cancel message box. All right. In case of cancel message box, it should be handled in here. Message destination equals self cancel message box. We should have the similar match. And in here, we don't want to do anything. So we just delete this branch. We want the editor to remain on screen. And in here, we want to basically like revert the changes again and close the editor. So we also want to create a separate method, revert, maybe something like this. Yes, it will be called revert. So, right. And in here, we also should check this. Check this. Okay. And in here, we will call self revert and close. Okay. So we want to have the same code in here. So when user clicks a yes button on a cancel message box, what the editor will do, it will revert the changes and close. Okay, so let's see if it works. There's pretty much warnings. Let's find out. So just create a new one, click cancel, and there's something that is not okay. Okay, let's see. So let's see. Let's debug this. It's very interesting actually why it does not get in here. Cancel. All right, let's see what we will have in here. The curve resource. the discriminant is sum. Okay, we have a curve resource. And if it modified, where's the modified? It modified true. Okay. What? All right. It should call the cancel message box. Now it does. That's very interesting why it didn't in the previous attempt. Okay. What will happen if we will click no? Okay, the editor remained on screen. What we will have if the user clicks yes? It like discards the changes. Okay, so let's check. Yes, it works fine. So let's load the oops. Okay, that's an interesting bug. Load. How did I manage to do this? That's a bug in the UI code. All right, let's start over. Load. Isn't it? Ah, right. The file selector should be opened in a model mode. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I forgot to do this. Center. Yes, it should be opened in open model. And window message, open model. Yes, that's exactly what we need. So in here, let's check. Let's modify something. Click cancel. No. Click OK. And save changes. I'm pretty sure that this is bug. Because when we click OK, we're just confirming that we are willing to save our changes. All right. So in here we should check if we have a path specified. Right. So if we have a path specified in the OK. So in case if it is modified and we have a curve, a resource, and in here we should check if the path equals to its default value, which indicates that we didn't save the curve. And if it's saved, all we want to do is to basically do a self close, and we want to do save. Okay, so let's see. All right, it's confused again. There's 500 lines of code in here. That's pretty much a lot, I think. Let's see. All right, let's load something. Modify it. Click OK. That's great. It didn't ask us if we want to save. Let's load it to check if it's actually saved. Oops. Open. All right. It's saved correctly. Let's create a new curve. Create something on it. Modify. And click OK. All right. It actually it asks us if we want to save. Ha! But we have another problem. When we click yes and there is no path specified, like we didn't load our curve but created a new one, we want to like open the save file window. Okay, so in here we should check if self path is not is equals to its default value, which again indicates if the file was saved. So if it's not saved, what we want to do, we basically want to reopen the save file dialog, okay? And we want to call this code. Let's move it to the separate function. Open save file dialog. And it wants the UI as a reference. Here. Okay. And we want to call this XO. And in here, we want to do the same. Okay. So let's check. Oh my god, I did the same mistake again. It's annoying. Why the compiler isn't smart enough to like deduce the type? That's kind of annoying, actually. Load. Oh, not a load, actually. We want to create a new, modify it some way. That's okay. Click yes. Unsaved changes. Unnamed curve. We didn't save it yet. We click yes, and it opens the select file, which also gives us the opportunity to like change our mind. We maybe don't want to save the curve, all right? So, and we click cancel. So basically, we have a complex like behavior tree of some kind. So let's click OK. It's again tells us that we didn't save anything. When we click yes, and in here we want to like modify the name, so it will be in here, and we click save. Okay, and if we modify it again, we click OK. It didn't ask us, but if we load it, the curve is saved. So I'm pretty sure that the curve editor is finished. Yeah, I think it's finished in the most. Maybe it lacks some like features like zoom to fit, like maybe I don't know, maybe some actually I can't even realize what it could be missing. What we can improve, actually, we can change the background of the curve. Okay, so it will be like much more it will be on a foreground. So we want these the area of the widget to be a bit darker than our curve editor, our background of the window. So let's do the final touch before we end the stream. So to do this is pretty simple. All we want to do is to, oh my god, where I got. Yes, we want to go in here, create a border, basically a widget that allows us to specify a border and fill the background with some color. New and width background, and we will specify a brush, and brush will be of solid color, and the color will be opaque, and opaque color will be like 100, 100, and 100 RGB. This will be build context, and as a child it will have this child. As a child it will have a curve editor. What you don't like, this child. Let's check this. The background of the curve editor now should the curvature widget should be much like darker than other. Aha, you see, we missed that. We should specify this on in here. Okay, that's because the curvature is now not a child of the grid. It's now a child. Oh, it's it's. Oh my god, I messed up with colors. Maybe this should work fine. Maybe even darker. Who knows? Who knows what's best? I'm not a designer. Maybe, yeah, let's do it twice darker. Yeah, it now looks much better, I think. And let's see, let's load something. This. Uh-huh. And why did it do this? I'm pretty sure that somewhere in the curve editor widget we have a bug. That basically overrides the color. Where is it? See. Ah, yes, it's in here. Curve editor. Let's see if it actually creates some brush. Okay, the grid brush is not what we want. Selected key brush. That's the drawing of the curve of the key. Yeah, it actually sets this. And we should get rid of this, I think. Actually, let's check again. Yeah, probably this is the key. This is the case. Let's find out. I'm not sure actually. Oh, maybe I was wrong. Maybe it uses the. Maybe it uses this as a brush for. Or maybe not. Let's find out. This is quite interesting actually. I have no idea why this happens. Very, very interesting. Let's revert this. Actually, you know what? It's kind of late for me, and I want to like rest a bit. So I think we did quite a lot of job today. So maybe, yeah. Maybe we should like end the stream today. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching, and yeah, bye.